My name's Dawn, and your name is?
I'm Rhian Diggins, and I'm Senior Archivist at Glamorgan Archives.
With Catholic First, we always take over, and how do you think that go with so far?
Working with Cardiff People First and the takeover has been absolutely brilliant at Glamorgan Archives. So we started working with Cardiff People First a long time ago now. It was in 2011 when work started with Cardiff People First on the Ely Hospital project. So that's when it all started, and when members of Cardiff People first came to Glamorgan Archives to do research on the history of the hospital. And we supported members from Cardiff People First to do that work, to find out about the archives, find out what we had about Ely Hospital, and then create an exhibition at the museum all about Ely and what happens there. And so after that then, we carried on working with Cardiff People First on lots of different projects. We did the Our Cultural Lives project. I don't know if you remember that, Dawn. Yeah, so that was Cardiff People First and Newport People First.
Yeah.
And so we worked on that and telling the stories of people who were members of Cardiff People First, had a learning disability, and are also from minority ethnic backgrounds.
Yeah.
And explaining how people live their lives and telling the world about their lives.
Yeah.
So we worked on that as well. And then we started doing the takeovers. And so it was sort of inspired really by kids in museums doing the kids takeovers, which we've been doing for a long time at the archives. And Cardiff People First members sort of thought, well, why don't we give this a go? Why don't we take over the archives? And so at the archives we thought, well, yes, why not? So we started working together, looking at how members of Cardiff People First could come in and do our jobs for the day. So it started out with members coming in, learning with us how to do the jobs, and then on a particular day taking over. So people did all sorts of different things. I know that we had people working on reception, welcoming visitors. We had people working in the search room. George was really good at working in the search room, going to get documents from the strong rooms and bringing them out to people. So that was excellent. We had somebody working on collections, helping us to identify items in the archives. One of the things that went really well was Simon from Cardiff People First coming in and helping us with a collection of photographs of pubs in Cardiff. And we didn't know where half these pubs were, but what we found out is that Simon has a very good knowledge of Cardiff pubs, and he helped us identify them and create a list of them, which really made a huge difference to us at the archives. We also had some digitisation work, so members of Cardiff People First helped us digitise records in our collection. So we will take photographs of documents for members of the public who can't visit us but want copies. And so members helped out with that. I think Janice did that. And also we had members of Cardiff People First giving tours behind the scenes. So we opened up the archives, asked people to come in if they wanted to book, and then a member of Cardiff People First did a tour and took people on the behind the scenes tour. And the first tour we did with that was Martin, who did a brilliant behind the scenes tour introducing everyone to the archives. So that's how Takeover started, and it's just progressed year on year, and we've had members come back year after year to do the takeover.
And we done training for your staff as well, and we?
Yeah, that was a really important part of the first takeover. We had some funding to do the Breaking the Barriers training with Cardiff People First,
Yeah.
and that was brilliant for us because it drew in all the staff across the office. Now, I work a lot with Cardiff People First because my job includes community engagement. But we've got lots of people in the archives who don't necessarily meet people who come in as customers and visitors. And so it was really important for us to get all the staff involved, and that really increased our staff's confidence when it comes to working with people with a learning disability. It gave our staff the opportunity to ask questions that maybe they might have been a bit scared to ask. But having a conversation with people, it really broke down those barriers and meant that we sat down in the meeting room here and actually all chatted to each other. And yeah, that really helped our staff become a lot more confident.
Because we do bigger picture now, and we're working with somebody else for about the archives for people with a learning disability. Do you think it's more important for people with a learning disability to get to understand the history and all stuff like that?
I think it's really important. I mean, what we've got in the archives, our collections relate to everybody in the community that we serve, and it's really important that everybody knows that the archives are here and you can come in and use them to find out about the past. And I think people tend to think as archives as being places that you come if you're an academic, if you work in a university and you're paid to do research, if you're a lecturer or if you're a professor or something like that. And that's not the case. Archives are open to absolutely everyone, and anyone can come in and use the archives to research. And I think an important thing that Cardiff People First have done by working with us at Glamorgan Archives is show that that's true, and show that people with a learning disability can come in and use the archives in exactly the same way as everyone else, and make the history of people with a learning disability accessible as well. I mean, it's a history that's often forgotten, not looked at, maybe hidden away, and it's really important that members have come in and helped us and help the world to see what there is in the collections about people with a learning disability.
Yeah. What was the question after that one?
What do you think of the learning disability? No, we said that one, didn't we? And why do we need it? What do you think of the learning disability archives, and why do we need it?
Right. Well, learning disability archives. We're fortunate at Glamorgan Archives that we've done a bit of a look at what we've got here, and we have got quite a bit of material in various collections that we hold. And also, because we've worked at Cardiff People First, we've got collections from Cardiff People First about Cardiff People First projects. So there's the Cardiff People First archives, but other groups as well, like Innovate Trust, brought their records to us. And it means that we've got some good collections that we know about, but I think they're scattered all across the material that we hold. And it would be really good to have something that would bring all that information together in one place, and also bring the information together from other archives. We're Glamorgan Archives in Cardiff. We cover a big chunk of South East Wales, but what happens about people in Carmarthenshire or up in North Wales or in England and Scotland? And it would be really nice to have somewhere that people could go that would draw all these little threads across the country together and create a one-stop place where people could go and find out about the history of people with a learning disability.
Absolutely perfect.